Hey everybody, it's Dr. Tim Conley here to talk about the CASAC program. I've been getting a lot of inquiries. I was very enthused, not uncommon for me, but I was very enthused by the response at the orientation last week, with the number of interested students for the CASAC program. So I'm going to give you some basic information here in a lecture format, and then I'll be following up with a few additional things here shortly. So you all have an MSW. Because there's so much overlap between social work and addictions counseling, the 350 hours that you need of training in addictions, you are given 250 for having your MSW. So you're 100 hours away from having the necessary education and training for a CASAC. Practice is different. I'll get to it in a second. So just to reiterate, 350 hours of training, 250 are given for the MSW that you already have. 100 hours is needed. You're going to get 45 of those when you take my addictions course in the spring. I'm putting that course into New York State for approval this semester. It should come through pretty quickly. So by the time you complete that course, it will have counted 45 towards the 100 that you need for a CASAC, leaving an additional 55 for us to sort out. I'm going to talk with the program about how we can get you those. We certainly have the curriculum. It's a matter of how we package it and give it to you guys as education. You won't need a second course, but that is to be determined. Let's figure that out. That will be made available to you, even if it has to be, post-grad continuing ed or something, that will be available. So there's where we stand with the education and training piece. Here's the practice piece. For a CASAC in New York State, you need 6,000 practice hours relative to addiction. But wait, this is where I go into my used car salesman thing. The state gives you 4,000 for your MSW, so you really only need 2. It's a multi-level license, and 6 is what it says on the application, and it throws everybody off. You need 2,000 hours of practice. So, of those 2,000 hours, it has to be supervised by a qualified health professional and signed off by a CASAC. Plus, you need references. It's a typical licensing, application. Complicated, a little more than usual, but that's what you need for practice. Now, some of you are practicing in a VA, some of you are practicing in a mental health clinic, some of you may be in an OASIS clinic. The hours that you're currently doing or have done, if they are documented and signed off properly, will count towards that 2,000. Some of you may be already on your way to that. That goes into the application. I will hold a separate session on how to complete that application for people who already have hours. It may be that you already have some addiction education. I don't know. And I know this program, so I'm talking to everybody, but I know there's only a certain number of you that will be interested in it. Probably more after you take my course. But anyway, so that sort of all goes into it. Just to recap, 350 hours of education, you're given 250 for the MSW, you need 100. My course will count for 45 in the spring. We'll figure out what to do with the remaining 55. 6,000 hours of practice, you're given 4 for the MSW. Some of you may already have some of the other 2,000. And that goes into the details of the application. So that's where we're at with the CASAC program for the DSW. That said, this course, which I'm still tweaking away at it until spring, it's the crown jewel of the CASAC program at of the addiction curriculum, I would say, at Wurzweiler. We have the 3 MSW courses. It's been a blast developing this. There's going to be 7 modules. There'll be a couple optional models for those who are shooting for a CASAC. That may be one way we could build in a few more hours. Yeah, it's all shaping up good. I look forward to working with you in the spring. At least half of you, Dr. Catherine Mitchell, is as enthusiastic as I am about getting this up and rolling in the spring. So we'll kind of leave it at that, and then I'll continue to reply to you individually. If you want to set up a time to speak with me one-on-one about your own situation, just send me an email with 3 available times, keeping in mind that I'm on the West Coast, or at least Mountain West. I'm about 2 hours earlier than you, so nothing in the morning. And then we'll take it from there. Talk to you again soon.